Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today I'm gonna do a DIY on how to make clear or clear-ish dividers for your planner. I told you in one of my previous videos that I would be doing this at some point, and it's also been requested as well since I mentioned I would do it. I've had several people reach out and tell me that they'd love to see it, so I'm gonna do that for you guys today. So I'm gonna show you what it is that I'm talking about. I make my own dividers in my planner, so just get somewhere in here where there's no pictures. So as you can see, I have here all these side tabs, and I also have top tabs here, and I have them labeled. And when you actually look at them, let me show you one. So when you look at my dividers, they are clear-ish. They're kind of like a cloudy clear, and I'll show you how I do those. And you can layer things behind them. I have some vellum behind it, and then I have my monthly inserts here from Peanuts Planner Co. And so I'm just gonna go through and show you guys how I make these. So let's get started. I'm gonna show you guys the supplies that you're gonna need first. So first and foremost, you are going to need a laminator. I have mine heating up. This is the one by Scotch, and I will link all these products down below for you guys if you're interested in getting any of them. And then you're going to need laminating sheets, of course. So these are also by Scotch, and I'm using vellum. This is how I made mine, but there's different ways that you can make these. So if you like mine with this slightly cloudiness to them, then you're gonna wanna get yourself a pack of vellum. I don't have the box from it, so I don't remember what it's called, the one that I bought specifically, but I'll link it below. I have it linked. You're also going to need a paper trimmer. This one is very old and very marked up, but these are really affordable and such a great investment if you do all your own printables at home and if you like to DIY and craft and scrapbook. So you'll need one of those, and a hole punch. I'm using my really beat up old single hole punch, but if you have the one that fits the page with the 6-hole punch or whatever your planner system is, or if you have disc bound or whatever you're using, just go ahead and grab whatever you need to punch the holes in it. Also, I label all of mine. So let me just show you. So all of mine have labels down the side, and what I do for that is I print out on, so these are just basic like label sheets, sticky sheets, and this is their size because it's meant for a mailing label. So I had these and I accidentally printed something on them that wasn't supposed to be on them, but luckily it printed on the back side. So this is not even the side that you'd use, this is just the backing. So the correct side of these are all available. So what I do is I basically take a sheet of computer paper and I just tape with just a little bit of tape 2 of them to fit a full sheet like this, and then I type out all of my headers and what I want on my dividers, and I will always make sure to type several words, the same words over and over in case I mess up or switch things. So this is just an example of what that looks like. So I basically type it into a Word document and just print as if I'm printing on regular paper, and then I have them on here, and then I just cut them out as I need them. So obviously our lives are forever changing, things change. There's things that are very relevant right now in my planner that in months will no longer be relevant. So I like to personally have them on the outside of my dividers to be able to add here and take off as need be. You can make these so that the actual label is inside of the laminate so that they are there and you cannot take them off, but I like to be able to change them out, and these stick really well. I have had no issues with these, and they've been on here for a while. So I like to put them on the outside so I can switch things up when need be. All right, so we are gonna get started. I have a pocket size planner and it's ring bound, and so I'm gonna be doing this all pocket size. So on my paper trimmer, like I told you, I always write on here like things that I need to cut. So like this is the width of my pocket and this is the length of a pocket sheet for what I'm doing. So I'm gonna show you the little trick on how I do these really easily. So basically you're gonna start with your vellum. I like to use vellum because I like to have sort of a see-through divider, but I still like it to have some kind of substance, so the cloudiness, because it still divides, and I just really like that. You could make these with just pure laminate. You could just put a laminating sheet through your laminator and then cut it to fit, and then you'll have very clear ones. You could also go to your local craft store, pick out your favorite scrapbooking paper, glitter paper, patterned paper. You could print something out on regular paper, cardstock. You can put photographs in it, whatever you want to do. You can get really customizable and DIY these to your liking, but I just like to go with some basic vellum, and basically what I'm going to do is cut this to fit. Okay, so I'm going to start with the length. So I'm just going to cut, I like to do a couple of these at a time, so I'm going to put it down here to the length, cut, get rid of the extra. Now, here is the important part when you're doing this. So if you are doing, I'm doing this as a side tab version right now. So when I do the width, instead of going to the actual width of where the page would be, I'm gonna go past it. So I don't know if you can see, I put on my thing 3 dots right there because I like my tab to be about that width. So I'm going to bring this all the way back to those 3 dots there. And this is also going to give you accuracy when you do several of these. They're all going to be very similar to each other, and it's going to be a nice, seamless look. If you're doing this with top tabs, you're obviously going to do this in the other direction. You're going to make your length a little bit longer so that you have the extra on the top. So now that I have these 3, I'm going to show you what an insert looks like, so you can see that the insert that goes in my planner that fits in there is shorter in width, so you have this extra here. So that's going to be for my tab. So what I like to do in pocket size is, if I'm doing top tabs, I do 2 across the top because I like the size, and when I'm doing side tabs I do 3. So what I'm gonna do is take a scissor. You can get very accurate with this and measure, but I just eye it, and I'm pretty good at eyeing it, but if you want it very specific and very accurate, you can actually measure. But basically, because I'm gonna do 3 tabs, I'm gonna cut 2 tiny slits. So I'm just gonna do one right about here and then one right about here. And you don't want to cut too far in. You want to cut basically the width of what that extra little bit that we cut in the beginning is going to be. So as you can see, I did not cut much at all. Now what I'm going to do is cut these so that I have tabs. So when I put this back in here, I'm going to put the back line to the exact size of my pocket insert, and then I'm going to cut up to that second cut line. So usually I don't go past, it's kind of hard to do this in the setting that I'm doing it, but as you can see, I went too far when I cut. Usually I can feel the click, and I didn't feel it, but so basically that's what the first one looks like. So for the second one, since the first one had the top tab, I want the middle tab, so I'm gonna cut this section off and this section off, but I want to do it through here because I want them all to be the same size. So what I'm going to do is start with the bottom. So I'm going to cut right up to that cut line right there, take that off, and then at the very tippy top, I'm going to put my cutter up here now, and I'm going to cut that top part off. Let me see if I went far enough. Nope. And then just trim it. And don't worry, once we get to these, you could do them a lot neater. I'm just kind of showing a sample. My ones in my planner are much neater than this, but now we have a middle tab, and now we're gonna do the bottom tab. So what I like to do is flip this upside down as if it's a top tab, so I can just easily cut it. And we're gonna go through. And if you have trouble with pushing your blade into this, pick it up and start it on the page. It helps so that it doesn't crinkle up your page if you're having issues with that. So now we have tabs. Now you can leave them squared like this, but I personally like the rounded look. So I'm gonna actually trim all of these little corners here to just have a very slight roundness to them. Okay guys, so once you've cut all those, now you can see my side tabs. They're slightly rounded and they all fit nicely together. They look seamless. Don't mind the little mess up here of the cut. That doesn't really bother me too much, but you just want to be really careful when cutting. I wasn't being too careful. So now we have the tabs here. So at this point, you can put your labels on if you want them laminated inside of your divider. So if you want it permanently on there, you can put your tab on. You can, if you have a label maker, do a clear tab, which would look really nice. You can write it. If you like your handwriting, you can just write on there whatever you want it to say. And then if you're not putting your tabs on like me, you're just going to go into the next step, which is laminating. So we're gonna get one of our laminate pouches. All right, you guys, once we have our laminate pouch out, we are going to open it up and make sure that you just do this slowly because you don't want any debris to fly into here because it will be laminated in there forever and it will drive you nuts, trust me. So we're just gonna put these down now on the page. Yes. Oh, that looks so good, I love it. Can I show it to everybody? My daughter just drew this beautiful picture. I love it so much. Who is it?
You and me.
Me and you? Oh. I love it. Oh, this one. Who's in this one?
Daddy.
Oh, Daddy and you and a unicorn? And Jojo?
No, that's not me. That's Jojo picture and that's for real.
Oh, I love it. Great job. All right, guys, so back to this. You're just gonna place it on the pouch here. I try to line them up good so that when I cut, it's an easier process for me. You need enough space between them that the laminate can seal itself, but you also want to make sure that you're utilizing your laminating pouch. Once this runs through the laminator, that's it. You cannot reuse it. So I try to fit as much as I can in here. Usually, if I wasn't doing a sample right now for you guys, I would actually make something else to go here so I don't waste it. Once you have those lined up, you're gonna close it like so. Now what we're going to do is get our laminator. So like I said, I use this one by Scotch. I really like it, it works great, it's really affordable, and I love it. So now, make sure that you guys are holding this steady so nothing shifts in there, and you wanna put the end that has the fold in first. Do not put the open end in first, make sure it's the folded end. So you're going to lay it into the tray, or whatever laminator you're using, and you're gonna slide it into here until it grabs. And once it grabs, it's gonna go through. I like to just hold it steady until it's going all the way through. Okay, so once you get this out of the laminator, you'll see now it's all laminated, and I'm going to show you where I messed up my cut lines there. When it laminates, you can see that line. So if that's gonna drive you nuts, just make sure that you cut accurately, but it doesn't bother me. I love that. You want me to show that one? My daughter wants me to show, she just drew Jojo Siwa and Bobo. So look how cute. She loves Jojo Siwa. That's very good. I love it so much. Now what we're going to do is cut these out. And when we cut them, you want to leave a little bit of the laminate edge. So you also have to remember that if you're making something that you don't want the hole punch to go into on the edge, make sure that you're making it smaller than what the insert size is. So when I cut these, it is going to cut into the vellum area. I personally like it that way, but if you don't want it that way, then you want to make these slimmer so that your cut line is only in the laminate, and But if you do that with this size, it's gonna stick out really far because I made them intentionally to cut in here because I like to just see a seamless look. I don't wanna see that division there. But you do have to leave a little tiny bit of an edge, otherwise it can unseal itself. So we are going to cut these out now. Since I set them up to kind of be in line with each other, I'm going to put them very close to the cut line, but still enough room that it doesn't cut into the actual thing. So you can see this one was up a little higher, so it has a little bit more of a edge there than this one, but I really like getting about this close. It's still far enough that it's sealed, but it's close enough that it is a nice size for what I like. We're gonna cut the back. So now when we get to this part, I cut it with the tab out here, as you can see. But now that I need to cut this part out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along this edge, and then we're gonna use a scissor for this part. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut up the side here, and I'm going to go right up near the tab. Don't get too close to it. So basically you're gonna have a cut line like this, so you can see like that. And then we're gonna use our scissor, and I've done the rounded edges, so I'm gonna stick with the rounded edge look, and I'm gonna cut into here like this. And now we have, as you can see right there, the edge. And then I'm gonna follow anywhere I rounded edges, I'm going to round them again. I'm sorry if the lighting is crazy. The sun just went in outside, so I just lost some lighting. So I hope this lighting's okay. Let me know in the comments from my videos which ones appeal to you the most, because I'm kind of testing out different spots, different lighting, different table settings. So just let me know what you guys like the best so I know where to continue filming. So now you can see I have a nice divider, and it has the edges like I like, and I keep the back part straight here because I like to just keep it that way. But if it bothers you, you can round this, but I would round it before you round this part. I would have rounded the vellum first. So here we have one of the dividers. I'm gonna go ahead and just quickly go through the other one so you can see that again, and I'm gonna speed through it. Okay guys, so I have finished cutting them. So now these are basically the dividers. At this point, I'm going to hole punch them so you can see they have a nice look to them. What I really enjoy about doing it this way with the vellum and laminate is that they are nice and thin, so you can put several into your planner without bulking it up too much and still have plenty of room for inserts. But they're very durable because they're laminated. Like, they're very durable. The holes aren't gonna rip or anything. So I'm going to just go ahead now and hole punch them. So since I don't have the 6 hole punch that I used to have, I just use my single one. So I just line up a piece of paper that has the punches already on it, and then I'm just gonna take my hole punch and go through and just punch right through there. And if you have the 6 hole punch, that's probably much easier, much quicker, but I don't mind doing it this way. So I'm just gonna go through and punch them. Then when it's all done, sometimes my little hole punches get stuck on here, so I'm just gonna pull them out. you can see now I have a nice insert hole punched, and it's nice and clear so that you can still see things through it. You can layer it, but it's still dividing things. So I really like that. And then at this point, I would go ahead and cut out whatever label I want and place it right on here. I'm actually not using any from this sheet. I have another sheet that I'm going to use because I did actually need a couple more dividers in here because I have some new sections I'm putting in, which in my autumn planner flip through, you guys will see that I am making a few changes, not to my system, but just to the planner itself. There are things that are becoming more relevant in life right now that I need to keep track of, so that's going to be in my planner. So yeah, so I would just then go ahead and hole punch all of these so that you have your dividers, and then you can just put them however you want, wherever you want in your planner, and it looks really nice. And I just love the look of these kind of cloudy clear ones because it's just what I like. It's kind of my aesthetic. It's just how I like my planner to be set up. And then if you're doing the top ones like these, if you're doing the top tabs, you're going to do the same process, but instead of putting the extra on the width, you're going to put the extra on the length. So when you go to cut the length of your insert, you're going to go further than the actual length by a little bit, and you're going to do the same steps. But for the top, you can also do it for the bottom, which I think I might actually do a couple bottom tabs for in here as well. All right, so as a little extra bonus, I'm also going to show you guys how you can make a top loading insert for inside your planner as well out of just laminate. So what you'll need is, again, a laminator and laminating pouches, paper trimmer, scissor, so, and a hole punch if you're putting this in a ring bound or disc bound. So I'm going to put these aside, and I just wanted to mention, this was that piece of laminate that got sealed that I had nothing in. You can cut this down to size with your tab and everything and use these as dividers as well if you want to have something that's all the way clear, see-through. So if you like that look instead of the more clouded look, you can do that as well. So I just wanted to mention that. I'm gonna put these aside, and what I'm going to do is grab my laminate. So the top loading laminate pouch, I got this idea years ago from someone on YouTube, and I'm so upset I don't remember what her name was or her YouTube channel because it was so long ago, so I'm so sorry. There are many DIYs on how to do this though, so, but I'm not sure who popularized it or started it, so I apologize for that. But the top loading version of this I did not come up with myself. I did see that somewhere else. I got inspired. So, but I am going to show you just as a bonus, because I have all the stuff out here, how I do that. You need your laminate pouches, so I'm going to take out 2. All right, so I'm doing this again for pocket size. So you're gonna wanna do this for whatever size planner you're using, whatever system works for you. If you have a traveler's notebook and you're using strings, you can also do this. You can do the dividers as well. You would just have to make them on a sheet that's like this, and then with your vellum, and then when you laminate, put it like this and cut around so that you have some extra laminate in the middle here so that you can fold it. So I just wanted to mention that. It's very versatile. You can use it for many different planner systems. So since I'm doing this for pocket size, here is something important that you have to keep in mind. You can do this 2 ways as well. When you have a pocket insert, your hole punches are going to go into it. So if you want your top loading to be just the part from the hole punch over, and you don't want your punches to go through the pouch part, you're gonna want to make your inside part slimmer, and I'll show you that in a minute. I don't mind when my hole punches go through this stuff. I think it looks fine, and it doesn't bother me at all. Things don't get like stuck in there. It's not gonna fall apart, or at least mine haven't fallen apart. But I'm gonna show you guys how I do it, but I am doing it with the punches right through it. But again, if you want the punches to be on their own strip of laminate and not interfering with the pouch itself, you're gonna wanna make these slimmer, so you're gonna have to adjust your measurements accordingly. So what I'm gonna do is, with laminate, I'm going to make sure that's the open end that I'm cutting, and I'm going to cut the size of a pocket insert. So here's the width that I'm gonna cut first, and what I'm gonna do before I start that is cut the edge, because these sheets have a slight round corner to them. So I'm gonna cut that part off. So I'm just gonna do as little as possible so I don't waste too much of this. All right, now that I have a nice straight edge and a straight corner, I'm going to cut the width of this first. And now I'm gonna cut the length. Okay, so now you're gonna see that we have this. It is the size of our insert here. You can make it smaller if you want it smaller, slimmer if you want it slimmer. You could do this as a half size. You can get creative with it, you guys. Well, now what we're gonna do is, since I'm not making multiple of these, instead of wasting 2 sheets, I'm going to just use this sheet to put through the laminator so I don't waste a whole other full sheet here. But if you're making several of these or several things at once, feel free to adjust accordingly. So we are going to open up our pouch here. And here's the trick. You're gonna take what you cut before, which is right now has the smooth side on the outside and the like grippy on the inside. We are going to flip it. So you wanna put them so that they're inside out. You want both shiny sides against each other, and you want the sealing grip side on the outside. So you can see I have that more mattified look there. And then you're going to place it in your laminating sheet. I really wish I had more to laminate right now so I don't waste this, but so you're gonna make sure that it's lined up perfectly. And then you're gonna close your laminating sheet. It's gonna move on me. So now this should be what it looks like. And then let me get my laminator. Again, make sure that you're putting the folded, closed part down first, always. Do not put the open end in first. And we're going to get that to grab. Okay. So now you can see that we have a pouch forming there. We're going to get our paper trimmer and make sure that you follow this next part very carefully. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut around it, leaving just like the dividers were with that little extra bit of laminate so it stays sealed. We're gonna do the same on here. So as you can see, I only cut 3 sides. This is the side that I'm gonna be punching, the bottom, and this is the outer side. So the trick to this now, because we want the pouch to open so we can put things in there, is we are going to cut below where that line is so that this will open. So instead of staying on the outside to keep it sealed, we want it to be unsealed. So now you can see the top opens just like that. And now you have a pouch. Just gonna go ahead and hole punch it now.
And again, my hole punches are going right into the pouch. If you don't like that, you can make it the inside part slimmer.
Okay, so I have to kind of mess around with these hole punches because it's a thick laminate now that it's doubled up with laminating pouches. So that's something to take into consideration if you don't have a good hole punch to get through that. Usually I'm able to get through it if I sit here and just keep toying with it and kind of twisting it. But just for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna wait until I'm done filming to finish that. But you can see where the hole punches will be here, and once I get them through all the way, and it's right into the pouch, which doesn't bother me at all. So then when I put it in my planner, I have a top loading pouch here. This can hold sticker sheets, photographs. You can also put in decorative paper or like scrapbooking paper or vellum, anything that you want to put in here. It'll stay protected. You can use them as dashboards. So you can put this in the front of your planner and switch out your dashboard page all the time. Like just slip a piece of paper in whatever you want your cover to be, so you don't have to laminate everything individually. You can also use these to hold sticker sheets. You don't have to hole punch these. You can just leave it like this and use it as a little pouch to hold things in your planner, receipts, stickers, anything. So really customizable. Again, you can even create a tab on the outside if you want to label it that it's the pouch or whatever and have it in your planner. But I absolutely love this, very versatile. I'll link everything down below as far as the supplies that you need so that you guys can check them out for yourself and get whatever you need. And make sure if you guys make your dividers or if you make your top pouches that you guys tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see how you utilize them and how creative you get with them. If you make some fun patterns or anything. And you could even print, like in my planner, I print on vellum to have some decorative sheets. You can print on your vellum before you do this as well so that you have some kind of decoration or pattern or anything. You can even print photographs so that you have your favorite picture in there, but it's still kind of see-through because it's on the vellum. You can get really creative, so I'd love to see what you guys come up with. So tag me on Instagram. Make sure that you guys follow me across all my platforms. You can check my blog out on my website, www.planwithb.com. Follow me on Instagram, and be sure to like and subscribe to my video here. So I will see you guys in my next video. I have a lot planned coming up for this fall, so I hope you guys will stay tuned, and I will see you guys then. Bye, everybody.